Hey guys, quick little afternoon video for you. Maybe it'll be quick. I feel like bitching about the vapor community today. Um, so, as you guys know, the Fakesagan sucks on the vape. Um, and as I've stated, the reason why I do this is I've been like a 2 pack a day smoker since I was a teenager. And I'm trying to quit, mostly unsuccessfully. By the way, kids, if you're one of these people who smoke cigarettes and all the adults are telling you, "Hey, you better knock that out, because one of these days you won't be able to quit anymore," and you're just like, "I could quit anytime I want, old man. Don't tell me what's what." Trust me, guys. I mean, I used to be like that too. Um, I remember I used to be able to just put the cigarettes down when I wanted to, and I could go from smoking a pack a day to just not smoking for like months or years at a time, and then pick it up again. There really does come this tipping point when you get to a certain age. I guess for me it was about age 35, where one day you try to put the cigarettes down, and you're like, holy shit, I just can't do it anymore. What's going on? Oh! So yeah, listen to the sage words of advice of the Fakesagan here, and if you can still quit smoking, do it. Do it now. Do it while you still have time, because you're gonna hit that tipping point. You won't be able to anymore. But anyway, so yeah, I vape, and I found that the worst thing about vaping is having to be associated with the vape community. Just like the worst thing about being an atheist was having to be associated with the atheist community, and to a large degree, one of the worst things about being a Christian is having to be associated with this Christian community, at least here on YouTube. Because these vapor people are such apologists for their hobby, their fix, that they get all butthurt if you point out the flaws and you point out like the drawbacks and negative health effects of it, and they get all defensive and vaping is perfectly safe. Get out of here, FDA. Yeah, you shill. We're not listening to these lies. It's just, man, they remind me of 420 Blaze It fags. That's what they seriously remind me of. Weed cures cancer, bro. Weed'll keep you from getting Alzheimer's. No, it fucking doesn't. Weed gets you high. That's all it does. If weed cured cancer, we would still have Bob Marley with us. Okay? Bob Marley died of fucking cancer, and he smoked 2 joints in the morning and 2 joints at night and 2 joints in the afternoon to make him feel all right. And look, I'm not some kind of anti-weed guy either. I'm no William Randolph Hearst. Like, smoke all the fucking weed you want. I've smoked metric tons of the shit in my life. And I'm not naive enough to think that I'll never smoke it again at some point. If I'm at a party someday and somebody passes around a joint, I'll probably take a hit or two, just because I don't smoke it every day, like, from the minute I wake up to the minute I go to bed anymore, like I used to. Doesn't mean that I'm some kind of reactionary about it that just gets all pissed off if somebody's smoking weed. But, these 420 Blaze It fags that just act like it's this panacea that cures all the ills you could have, and they act like it's snake oil, like it fixes everything, Well, these vape people are the same way. I was watching one of these big YouTubers in the vape community, like Indoor Smokers or Vapor Clouds or Vape and Fagan, or one of these guys. I can't remember which one it was. But the video topic was something about like dispelling the myths of the health consequences of vaping, which, like, how can you even debunk something that science doesn't understand yet? Vape hasn't been around for long enough for us to know what the long-term effects are. But you know, I was watching this video, whichever one of these guys made it. It might not have even been one of the guys I just mentioned. It could have been somebody else entirely. I don't, you know, guys, I don't fucking remember because I don't care. But I felt like the video was just too one-sided, like saying how, you know, oh, vape is just perfectly safe. So I left some kind of comment in the comments section, you know, and it wasn't like fear-mongering or anything. I wasn't talking about popcorn lung or any of the, you know, the kind of more out there theories of what vape is going to do to you. I was just talking about, you know, well, you know, to be fair, a lot of the chemicals that they put in these juices in order to give it flavor, yeah, they're approved by the FDA for use in food, but we don't really know what's going to happen when you breathe it into your lungs. You know, I was just saying really kind of, I was talking about how the particles are a lot finer than the particles of smoke. Like if you look at parts per million, it's just it's a much finer particulate that you're taking into your lungs, which means that it's going to penetrate more deeply than conventional smoke does. You know, it'll get all up in those alveoli and really fuck your shit up. But you know, I made some kind of comment like that, and the video author, creator, whatever himself didn't respond, but all these little 420 blaze it fag vaping fags started tearing my ass up. They're just, oh, stop fear mongering, man. Vape is totally safe, dude. And like they all got pissed. And it's just, it's silly to me, man. Like this vape community stuff. I mean, why can't people ever just be honest? That's what I want to know. Like, why does everything have to be all or nothing when it comes to stuff like this? Like, why can't somebody do something and still acknowledge that it's not the best thing under the sun? You know, it reminds me of my days in the atheist community, when I used to point out how militant secular humanism, that whole community, which is, you know, termed new atheism, has the same kind of flaws that the fundamentalist religious community has. You know, it has the same kind of ostracization, in-group, out-group mentality, same kind of dogmatic thinking, and the other atheists would tear my ass up for that. How dare you criticize the thing that we like? Well, guys, I'm just trying to be even-handed and realistic. That's all it really comes down to. I mean, I'm not dissing on vaping. I fucking vape. But by the same turn, I just think it's retarded to act like, oh, this is completely safe. There's nothing wrong with this at all. Well, you know, you don't know that. So what brought this video on? Why am I talking about this? Well, I just got back from the vape store, so I had to get myself some juice. And you know, guys, oh man, let me talk about this for a second. The one thing I really miss about being a smoker, and it's not the cigarettes, because, you know, vaping really is better than smoking in a lot of ways. I mean, as far as like your energy levels and the way you feel, it's night and day. I mean, like, I can run up a flight of stairs, I can fucking do 100 push-ups. I couldn't do any of that stuff when I was smoking cigarettes. You know, but by the same turn, instead of getting lung butter like you do with smoking, you get like this awful phlegm from vaping. It's like you always just kind of feel congested and snotty, and it's kind of gross and weird. But anyway, I was in the vape store, and man, one thing I hate about vaping is that when you're a smoker, you just waltz into a convenience store or a gas station and be like, yo, let me get a pack of Reds, brother man. Time to kick back, drink some beers, and smoke some weed. And like, you just get your shit, you do the transaction, and you walk the fuck out. And that's it. You know, bing, bang, boom, you're done. Whenever I go to the vape store to get juice, I gotta stand in line behind like 3 nerds. And like the guy behind the counter is having some nerdy conversation with like the first guy in line, like, Oh well, yeah. The double notch coils have a pretty even heat transfer, but really, if you use the sub ohm double helix coils, it's actually slightly more energy efficient. And like they're just going on and on and on and on, and I'm standing there tapping my foot like, come on, just buy your fucking shit and get out so I can get my damn fucking nicotine, you fucking nerds. It just drives me crazy. I mean, when you're late to work or something, or you're on your way to do something, and you just want your nicotine, you just want to get your shit, pay for it, and get the fuck out. And there's some nerdy conversation going on, like you're at the comic book store and you're waiting in line, and like the dude at the counter is having an argument about Warhammer figurines with somebody, and you just got to sit there and tap your foot and wait. Man, sometimes I just want to shoplift my stuff, leave the money on the counter, and just be like, yeah, you guys make the change, fucking keep the change. I gotta go, okay? I gotta go. I don't need a receipt. Bye. Obviously I don't do that, but I'm sorely tempted to every fucking time. I mean, it's just so annoying being hooked on vape because there's no convenient way to just get it and go. And I'm not smart enough to calculate how much I'm going to use in any given month and then like pre-order the shit on the internet and probably pay like 25 to 50% of the retail price I pay in these vape stores. I'm not smart enough to do that. I just go to the vape store and get my little 30 milliliter bottle and freaking walk out. But these vape stores, one thing I've noticed is they have no sense of humor at all about the health consequences of vaping. Because I was in there today, and since I'm a regular customer, it's kind of like a thing where when a drunk goes into the liquor store, they know what you want. It's like, oh, you want the usual? You want your blended Seagram 7s there? And they know what I want. Like, and if anybody's wondering what my typical e-juice blend is, I get this stuff called Thorad by a company called Mod Fuel. It's kind of like this cinnamony pancake, sugary waffle cone tasting shit. And the main reason I like it is its max VG. It has more vegetable glycerin than propylene glycol, and so it's just like I find that stuff feels better in my lungs. It has like less of a burn. It's smoother, and it just kind of goes down better. And as far as the flavor, like, do I love it or anything? No, but I just don't. It doesn't annoy me as much as some of the other flavors do. These fruity vapes and stuff like that. Like, I just find them really irritating. And I used to vape the tobacco flavored vapes for a while, but they've got too much of a bite to them. I don't really like that stuff. But anyway, so when it's finally my turn and all the nerdy conversations are over, I get up to the counter, and there's some other customers down at the other end of the counter being helped by another employee, and they were like new customers that were there to get their first setup, like their first mod, and making like a $150 purchase with all their batteries and their Nightcore charger and all that shit. So I'm standing there, and this lady behind the counter, she says, so should I get you some Thorad? And I was like, no, it's a tight month for me right now. I don't really have that much money, so I'm not going to be getting my my normal max VG. Let me get some max antifreeze shit. And she just gets this pissed off look on her face. She's like, what did you just say? Like she's giving me this death stare. And I kind of noticed the dudes, like the newbies across from me on the other end of the counter, kind of exchanging these nervous glances, like, what did that guy just say? Because for those of you who don't know, propylene glycol is shit that they put in antifreeze. I mean, it's not that it's like aggressively toxic or anything. It's not as bad as like ethylene glycol. It won't make you go blind or some shit, but it's not exactly good stuff. I mean, they put it in deodorant too, like roll-on deodorant. antiperspirant, whatever, that's mostly propylene glycol. So I just thought I was being funny and cute. I was cracking a joke. I was like, yeah, let me get some Max antifreeze shit. And man, like, she just had no sense of humor, but she was so pissed for the rest of the whole transaction. I mean, she didn't say anything, to be fair. I figure her logic was like, why alienate a regular paying customer just to potentially get some new customers? She got me my stuff and I paid for it and I got out. But man, she just, like, she was visibly rustled. Let's put it that way, for the remainder of the interaction. You're like, oh, funny man, telling people the truth about what we sell. You think that's funny? I don't think so. Well, yeah, I actually do think it's very funny. But bottom line, the point I'm making with this video is like, this vape community is just annoying. And fucking, what I really find myself wondering is, why does there have to be a quote-unquote vape community at all? Why can't there just be addicts that use vaporizers? You know what I'm saying? Like, why does there have to be an atheist community, for that matter? Why can't there just be people who don't believe there's a God? I mean, this mob think, this group mentality that springs up over every last little thing. Like, nothing is insignificant enough not to warrant having some kind of gay ass club with in-group out-group thinking and defensive apologetics, is it? Like, there's just nothing insignificant enough that people can just do it without becoming like a cheerleader for it. I just think it's dumb. Oh man, so sometimes I listen to myself talk when I make these videos, and I feel like I'm like the Andy Rooney of of YouTube or something, like just this curmudgeon-y old guy bitching about bitching about society. Oh, there's no respect, these kids. I tried to figure out how to use my VCR machine the other day. I couldn't get it to work. I mean, does anybody even know what I'm talking? Does anybody know who Andy Rooney is? I don't know if that guy is. He used to do these opinion segments on 60 Minutes. I don't even. He's probably dead now. I have no idea. I don't know. Maybe he's still alive. I don't watch TV anymore. Well, okay, let me amend. I watch TV, but I don't. I don't watch it on TV. I just kind of download or stream the scant few shows that I actually like. Walking Dead, Talking Dead, Fear the Walking Dead, Better Call Saul, Ash vs. Evil Dead. A lot of shows I like have dead in the title. That's interesting. The Americans. There's a couple shows I watch, but I don't really, when it comes to, like, especially anything to do with mainstream media or quote-unquote news, I noped the fuck out of there years ago. Anyway, yeah, though, bottom line of this video, fuck the vape community. That's all the news that's fit to print for this afternoon. Keep it fake.